Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
She's Jaylyn.
And he's Monty.
So buckle your seatbelts and get ready to take a trip towards reality.
All right. Happy May 2026. Here we are.
Springtime.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. May is one of my favorite months. And it's Monty's birthday month.
Oh, that's true.
And one of my son's birthday month, too. It's a big month here.
The birds are singing. The birds are singing to us.
Yeah, the sun is warming everything up and the flowers are popping. The world is in its state of creation and its own balance of peace.
Yeah, peace and turmoil.
Right?
Really, I mean, there's both going on.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean by balance, you know?
Yeah.
While the fox is chasing the rabbit, I don't think the rabbit's feeling very peaceful, but the fox might be.
Oh, the rabbit might be too.
Yeah, we don't know these things. We know from the outside it doesn't look that peaceful.
Yeah, it probably is not feeling peaceful, actually. Excited.
I'm about to sacrifice my life, says the rabbit.
But you're right, the predators do usually seem really peaceful when they do their thing.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Well, yeah, they're just doing their nature.
Yeah, right.
It's not like they're out of their nature. But then, what is our nature and how do we choose a peaceful nature? And is it possible for humans? We are the top predator.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting definition of humans.
Well, I mean, it's true, I mean,
I don't know. I guess it is true. I mean, but we're also on the top of a list for like fighting amongst ourselves.
Absolutely. I think that's the
animals
nature.
do that somewhat, for sure.
Somewhat.
For sure.
Yeah,
but
vying for dominant.
I suppose it's just because we're vastly more technologically advanced than the animals our destructive powers are much greater.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that we were even saying, is the predator at peace as it hunts its prey?
Yeah.
And I feel like in nature that it may be true.
Yeah.
But as humans, I think that we're too confused to actually be peaceful in our hunt because we don't even know what we're hunting or why we're hunting.
What we're hunting, yeah.
I feel like this unknowing is being used to the advantage of propaganda and being able to bend our brains into an agenda.
Our corporate and governmental masters.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Which, that they're probably the ultimate predators.
Well, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Who's top dog is really maybe the question.
Well, right. Well, the people who probably print the money, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, we really just don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that brings to me the question of if our life, each of us individually, all of you listeners out there, if our life is actually fairly peaceful, we're not being hunted.
Yeah.
Can we cultivate the peace that would ripple out and affect those who are the top dog?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a question of the collective consciousness, really.
Right?
I think. And yeah, we can absolutely, whether we know it or not, we're affecting the collective consciousness.
Okay.
I could be like freaking out, mad, throwing things, yelling, screaming, and then that vibration is going out into the collective, and that might be reaching the top dog.
Right.
I mean, but
fueling it.
Even the top dogs, they have kids, and who knows, where that leads.
Yeah.
And if I can be really peaceful and centered and kind of in harmony with the Tao, then that energy can also reach all of us.
Right.
I mean, we're really essentially all in it together. It's kind of the collective consciousness really rules the roost.
Yeah.
Not some like
What's
individual.
the dominant collective consciousness? I absolutely agree.
Right. So we have actually a bigger say than we realize as to, the evolution of our culture, the evolution of humanity. Mm-hmm. I mean, it does start just individually within our own minds. And
hugely a part of this was astrological events that happened in April that, according to some astrologers, are saying that, in 200 years, as humans evolve, we'll look back at April 2026 as the turning point. And what does that mean while we're in it? The hunters and gatherers, they couldn't imagine Metropolis. So we can't truly imagine what's coming.
Yeah, the next stage.
But we can choose our energy and how we respond to the changes that are happening. And not everyone lives in a peaceful situation.
No.
So I'm not saying everyone gets to even choose peace. I'm saying for those of us who actually have a peaceful scenario, rather than aligning ourselves with those who don't get to choose peace, we can choose peace to send that vibration of possibility out to those who can't experience that right now.
That's an excellent point. I think that we have the agency to choose, some of us.
Right.
If our lives are fairly peaceful and we're not, not stuck in a trench in a war or something where we have no choice at that point.
Right.
But for us, for me, I can speak for myself, I do have the choice of, what kind of energy do I want to hook into and amplify? Mm-hmm. And for me, a lot of the choice comes down to my behaviors, too. If I spend a lot of time scrolling, for example, then my mind becomes less peaceful and I become agitated and upset and
dull. I become
scared, dull.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on your algorithm.
Well, I don't
get scared from mine because I'm watching puppies and kittens.
But dull is like kind of the same as, or it's aligned with depression and depression's aligned with anxiety, I would say. And so it's like a lower frequency. Certainly, it's like a guarantee for myself. If I spend, let's say, over 15 minutes scrolling, my mind is just vastly affected in a negative way.
Yeah.
Typically, almost guaranteed. But I still do it.
I know, right?
I do less of it. I take breaks. That's one way I create more peace in my mind is I go on media fasts.
Yeah.
Where I just refuse to look at any of that stuff or listen to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's something I've been doing for over 15 years now.
Nice, yeah.
And it looks a lot different now than it did 15 years ago, though. Right. For me, 15 years ago, it was just like, oh, well, don't listen to NPR and, stay away. That was like my main media addiction, probably, because I was driving around a lot. And, but then I eventually kicked that habit altogether, the news radio thing. And, but now it's the screen.
I'm sure most of us who have smartphones have the ability to see how many times you picked up your phone that day. And I have an average of 75 times a day. And I think that's really trippy because I get a dopamine hit, and we all do, just from seeing the screen. And I have been known to just look at my phone simply to look at my phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it is an addiction, and it is a dopamine hit. And we're really dealing with mass cultural addiction that we don't even understand at this point. We don't truly, there's some people who adhere to specific rules on how often their kids can look at a screen or something like that. I would say in this area, the Waldorf school community definitely does their best to reduce their kids' screen time.
Yeah.
But for the rest of our culture, it's definitely a challenge, and we actually don't know what it's going to do. We
know some of the things.
I did find a study about schools and school testing and how school testing has become obvious that the computers in schools are actually reducing intelligence. And I think that is in itself is hugely interesting.
Well, I mean, that's a complex statement just from the perspective of what is intelligence.
Well,
and
test scores.
Well, right, but nowadays with the AI coming on so strong,
Yep.
I mean, maybe our intelligence needs to go in a different direction rather than like, okay, I can really figure out a complex math problem because AI can do that easily.
That's hardly what is going on in grade school, I mean, grade school is
it's
more...
It's the same kind of thing, memorizing, spelling.
Yes, true.
I mean, how important is that stuff? I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying it's just, we need to take a hard look at it and understand that perhaps down the road, intelligence is going to be viewed as,
like a different measurement.
Yeah, different criteria as to what is intelligence. And for me, I feel most intelligent when I seem to be like in alignment with the realization that we're all just confused God beings. Mm-hmm. We all have this spark of the Tao within us, all of us, I believe. And that's the good news. The bad news is we're all confused and we act accordingly. But to me, when I'm really in that zone of understanding, I think my level of intelligence is greater than if my mind is ruminating about politics or money or sports or, whatever the old school kind of ruminations.
What you're saying is, from what I understand, called emotional quotient. Like,
emotional intelligence?
Yeah. And I absolutely agree, and that's something that I'd say our culture specifically suffers from a lack of emotional intelligence.
That's a great point, that it's possibly that emotional intelligence might be the most important component of intelligence in the future.
In the future, that might be how we're being asked and called to develop at this time.
Yeah, because if we don't have it, then we're in real trouble. Because with the onset of just all this technology, it's coming on so fast that amplifies, our ability to destroy ourselves or to help ourselves. It amplifies both. We can we could ride this wave and just get all our electricity from the sun, and everybody could be eating organic food. If we use the intelligence in an emotionally mature way.
Right.
But if we're emotionally immature,
or caught up in the criteria of the powers that be, and they aren't emotionally mature.
Right. They're part of the human collective.
And if they're trying to just be rich, and then, making sure everybody's okay is not a part of that agenda.
Right. And that's their prerogative, I guess, for some of them. And I think each of us is just as important. I don't like calling them the powers that be. They only have power over me if I really buy into their stuff. If I really the powers that be, you could say if who owns like a cell phone, like Apple,
Okay.
because they
Sure.
and if I use the Apple phone as a tool rather than addiction, if I use it rather than it using me, then the powers that be don't have necessarily
Agreed.
effect.
And that in itself is huge because
Yeah.
what you're really pointing out is how does one have the internal control to be able to recognize the use as a tool or the use as an addiction, and how do we culturally begin to turn towards using it as a tool instead of just passing time with it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And I think a lot of it comes down to just the emotional maturity. As we emotionally mature, then we're just much more solid. We're more resilient. We're more balanced. We have a clearer mind. Just think of, a mature person.
Sure.
Right? And you think of relative to a toddler, and the toddler is, doesn't get his or her way. What does the toddler do? The toddler throws a fit. I don't accept this. Just
I want ice cream before bed.
No. Yeah, right. And emotionally, I think a lot of us, including myself, can be in that, toddler place of just lacking acceptance. I don't accept this.
Yeah.
And that's like a kind of a toddler perspective when you throw a fit over it.
I feel this is twofold because how fast things are going right now.
Yeah.
It's like a respectful protocol professionally is changing, because we carry our phones on us at all times. Some of us see respectful protocol as responding ASAP, which could be to the detriment of ourselves, whereas some professional ways are more like, I'll get back to you when I'm ready. And there's this strange place where we are at the moment where it's like a division of how to respond.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that very interesting, just witnessing it. Not that one is good or one is bad.
Yeah.
But I know for myself, I am a people pleaser, and I tend to professionally and personally get back to people ASAP. And if I don't, then I feel guilt.
Right. But that part of that is the addiction, though.
Right.
That's the thing. We can pretend it's just
my
us
addiction.
Being, yeah, right.
I love it. That's great.
It makes me feel like a little kid when like my phone buzzes, and then I feel like
totally.
Just compulsively I grab it.
Check it.
Yeah, and and just all that. And
that's
I
so
do that.
funny.
And sometimes, I'm waiting for an important phone call or an important text. So that's like a different case scenario, but a lot of the time, I just like, and it's like, oh, and you just feel without even thinking, I feel my hand moving towards the phone.
Absolutely.
I'm like conditioned.
Yeah.
I'm conditioned. At that point, it's using me. The system.
That is so,
The corporate, whatever system of phones and internet and all that is using me. But I know that if I can just get a handle on it, that I am using it then for my benefit and for the benefit of ideally all of humanity if I'm on the right path.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the emotional maturity that we are moving towards or can move towards if we want a peaceful world is to take time not to look at the phone. And that's what I'm trying to do these days, but it's hard when I have friends all over the world and their AM is my PM. And, it's like I would like to implement a after 5 p.m., I don't look at my phone. But being a global friend is kind of hard for me, again, as a people pleaser. I want to engage with my friends.
People
but
pleaser slash phone addict.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm a phone addict too. I'm not going to deny it,
Right.
I'm not pointing the finger, but I do push back against it. I mean, in your scenario, you could say, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes at night to look at the phone.
There you go.
I mean, that'd be one possible solution.
Yeah, so to give myself breaks. Because, when I looked at my phone, and I've been realizing this over the last few weeks, that I have an average of 75 times a day looking at my phone, and I'm just like, dang, I need to get a grip on this.
I know, it just makes me feel when I'm just really in that pocket of like being like active addiction for the phone,
which is all
like
the time
every
for me.
every time I'm like my mind's a little upset, I want to like be scrolling because it soothes my mind temporarily.
It really does.
Till I see something disturbing or
Right.
learn some disturbing news or just see some like just how people can be just so malevolent to each other. It's really incredible, on the internet in particular, but I think what I'm seeing when I see people being malevolent towards each other with all the name calling and all this and that, I feel like in some ways they're just showing how they talk to themselves.
Right? There's that.
Because in real life, people don't talk to each other that way either. Well,
they can.
They can, but typically no.
Right? They don't have the same amount of courage hiding behind the screen.
Well, it's not. It's maybe just like maybe less malevolence too. Mm-hmm. I mean, but internally, we can be as malevolent as we want to be towards ourselves,
right?
And nobody knows about it, and we've kind of all been trained.
Yes.
To be malevolent towards ourselves. You make a mistake. I make a mistake. I'm beating myself up bad some of the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm getting better. Mm-hmm. I'm getting better. And I'm actually, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I'm actually trying on the philosophy of just being benevolent towards all beings. Mm-hmm. All beings, which is really like an interesting philosophy to take on.
I think you'll have to include yourself in that statement.
Yeah, I'm part of all beings.
Just because, like for someone like me, being the people pleaser type, I could sacrifice the self at any moment to try to be kind to somebody else. And for me, it's been this strange learning of how to not sacrifice myself, but also be kind.
It's not about being kind, though. Benevolence is more just a mindset of wishing, hoping just that everybody is going to, move towards happiness and harmony. Mm-hmm. Everybody, everything, all, and it's just it's a philosophy, and it can lead to kindness. Yes. It can lead to compassion. Yes. But it is like the foundational aspect of my view on, the world.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And if I'm benevolent towards, and I'm not exactly there. I know once I really tried to take on that philosophy, I noticed there were like people, they would come up in my mind and I'd be like, oh, I don't feel benevolently towards them. It's like, but then it turns into, well, that's my problem.
Yes.
Right? Well, in the past, it would be like, I don't feel good about them and it's their fault. But now it's like, no, I don't feel good about them and that's my problem. How can I shift that? Mm-hmm. Because I do realize deep down that we're all just confused. Mm-hmm. I mean, back to like Socrates, he would say, what do you say? Evil, the cause of evil is ignorance. The cause of evil is just not knowing. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a lot of us, I believe, we're scrambling around and we really don't know. Mm-hmm. We don't know, a number of things, including we don't know our own power.
Yeah.
We don't know that we're
There's a lot
hooking
of
into a
unknowns.
collective unconscious, like some vibration. It's like a radio station we can tune into. And a lot of people just habitually tune into that shadow station.
Yeah.
And
It's simpler because we already know it. It's familiar.
Well, it is familiar. I mean, and humanity has spent a lot of time in that shadow station
Yeah.
throughout history.
Yeah.
But maybe now's the time we learn to tune up. We
Yeah.
tune up into that neutral state, or we tune up into that flow state. And our survival might depend on it, actually. You know?
Yeah. So I want to pause you there because we're going to have a musical break here. And then we can come back in with some more specific skills on how to tune our internal stations and maybe face these phone addictions and turn them more into tools again.
Yeah, right.
All right. Yes. So enjoy. The mind is all.
Yes.
The mind is all. The mind is all. I am enough. You are enough. I love enough. I'm loved enough. This moment is enough. You are enough. I am enough. You are enough. I love enough. I'm loved enough. This moment is enough.
All right. A little bit about that song. That was a recording. It was basically the first time we played that song. So it was really
we created it.
Yeah, a special moment. Yeah, the creation of that song, and with the help of Jesse Ferraro, I want to say. And
yeah, so that was a beautiful expression of sometimes you just hit record because you never know what amazing things will happen. And for us being audio artists.
Yeah. I think that song too is like really, a lot of it is an expression of flow. So that's the importance of music. I think it helps potentially tune that radio, that mind radio we have up into like a flow state. And I remember specifically being a kid in grade school or 6th, 5th, 4th, 7th grade. And so certain songs would come on the radio and they would just put me into flow, and it was like back in those days, you hear a song on the radio. It's like a special occasion.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you hit the jackpot, and I've been thinking about that this week, just how it would really, certain songs would put me in a state of bliss.
Yeah. And when you're saying that, it makes me think about how we have gotten to a place in our culture with everything at our fingertips when we want it.
Yeah.
That there is no jackpot anymore. And we're more, our desire for, I guess, that dopamine hit it just can't get fulfilled because we can have anything we want whenever we want it.
Well,
as far as visually and auditorially,
that's true.
Maybe we can't have $1 million when we want it, but we can have whatever song we want when we want it.
Yeah.
We can have whatever
image.
TV show.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Like back in the day, like you said, maybe your favorite song would come on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow, yeah. And drop what you're doing and dance around.
Yeah, going on vacation with my parents and Hocus Pocus by Focus came on the radio, like in Tennessee or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, yeah. I was just so happy. I couldn't believe it.
That's cool.
My dad was cool and he would turn it up.
Oh,
You're not totally jam it, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how can we get back to that spontaneity of being able to grab a moment and see its specialness when every moment is special because we can have these things whenever we want?
Well, now I think for myself, those special moments are when I'm in the flow state.
Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But if my mind feels elevated and light and peaceful and clear, relatively clear, and then boom, that's the jackpot now.
Yeah, for me as well. My teacher, Tabia Feng, he says that
Qigong teacher.
Yep, White Tiger Qigong. He says that getting into the flow state 3 times a week is really important for personal growth.
Oh, jeez.
And so I had to, of course, start taking note of when do I get in the flow state and what helps me get there. And that has been an interesting journey to realize that as long as I do my practice every day, if I am in my body and not in my head, then I most likely will get in the flow state. But if I allow my mind to think while I'm doing Qigong or meditation or breath work, then I do not get in the flow state.
Right. Yeah, the flow is one way of looking at it. It's mostly presence.
Right.
But not...
And somatic presence at that. Like you can't just be present in your thoughts.
No, and you're not thinking. The mind, the chattering mind is quiet for the most part, with little bits of thinking. But I like thinking about it like a basketball player in the flow. He's like, he or she is not thinking, okay, grab your hands together, and bend your knees, and now push off and jump up, and...
That must be why I was really bad at basketball, because I think I did do that.
All right. But they're very well rehearsed, very talented, and they're very present. And, they do have moments of thought like, oh, back on defense, or whatever. So there's moments of thinking, but primarily just this presence, which leads to like this highly intuitive just nature where you're just moving in the right direction, and it's like it's beyond the intellect.
Yeah, for me, intuition is such an odd subject in itself because of my upbringing and really being strictly adhering to other people's rules and therefore losing my intuition and really losing trust in myself in general. And it's been 50 years of learning how to trust myself. Yeah. And just now maybe kind of getting there. So intuition is just like a strange thing for me. Yeah. And I'm the first to admit that, this may be an intuitive feeling, but it could be totally wrong because I just, I haven't learned enough about how to navigate my intuition to really trust. I've learned to trust what I feel, but I've learned to not trust my interpretations because they have over and over been wrong. And that kind of comes back to this idea of benevolence versus malevolence. And sometimes we think we're being benevolent, but are we really? Could our interpretation be too narrow to have the full picture and be including the universe's perspective on what's actually happening?
Right. Yeah, and the frequency perspective on it.
Right.
And the shadow perspective on it. And yeah, people convince themselves all the time that they're doing the right thing and blah, blah, blah. And, but in some of those cases, if they're like, living out of shadow, I would.
And it's hard sometimes to even be able to admit that.
Well, right. Well, people don't understand it because that's like home base for a lot of humanity.
Yeah, it was definitely home base for me for a long time.
For sure.
I do want to say that I read this. I don't remember the source, but the idea of this blew my mind. And we are all aware of our own conscious worth. We all believe that our consciousness is worthy and correct. And when we deem someone else wrong, right off the bat, they are going to be defensive because they see themselves as right. So, to end divisiveness, we have to acknowledge that the other person thinks they're right too.
Yeah.
And who are we to think that we are the one that is right? And this is a really deep subject right here because I was in a gas station the other day and I heard these two ladies really complaining about another person. And they were like, we're right and they're wrong. And that is just how it is. And in my mind, I was like, wow, this is so interesting that I'm here for this conversation and hearing these people go over exactly what I try to not allow my mind to do. And this is a representation of how our culture really does feel the division is true and correct.
Well, the feeling of rightness too tends to, there's a level of just judgment that goes along with it.
Of course.
I'm right, you're stupid, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And
or I'm right and you're wrong. We don't even have to add in the stupid
No, but the
part.
stupid thing goes without saying. And a lot of the time, it's just like a level of, it's a different frequency of I'm right.
So
maybe, yeah.
So where my mind goes then is back to this idea that in 200 years, history will look back at April 2026 and go, and that's when everything began to shift. And so what is right and wrong? How does one even align themselves?
Yeah.
Because we are at this change precipice.
Yeah, we don't know.
And we don't know what's right. But we can act from a benevolent and open-minded place.
Yes. I mean, in a place of humility, just being humble.
Because we don't know.
We don't know, and just accepting that. But if you're benevolent, then that's just a huge step in the right direction. Because that, I would argue, is what we need to really evolve.
Yeah. And I feel that benevolence towards self and others. And we're in the U.S. have a huge mountain to climb because of how all of us were raised to be separate and separated. And maybe not everybody. I mean, Monty actually is of the lucky few who had a bunch of friends in school, and they're all still friends, and we all get together once a year to celebrate this friendship, I mean, so there are some people who were not completely separate, but in general, we have been raised to be separate, and our culture has made us very individualistic. And the want for our desires to be fulfilled, our personal desires to be fulfilled. and the judgment on, well, why haven't my personal desires been filled? And so it's a very focused life that we live right now. And even in the midst of desiring community, that individualistic nature is being harnessed by propaganda and trying to get us to do what they want us to do. And I feel that the idea of benevolence kind of shoots down the individualistic nature.
Right.
And in some ways, I mean, being peaceful itself is also very difficult for the individualistic jargon and agenda. And so being peaceful and choosing how to be peaceful, such as using the virtue of benevolence to guide you through life.
Maybe, like refusing to judge others.
Is hard. It's because
foreign to us.
It's completely foreign.
Yeah, we're supposed to pick sides.
Yeah.
And you're either on this side or you're that side. And
I know.
Blah, blah, blah. And it goes, it's more than just politics too. It's like age. It's
AI.
like
everything. There's so much
money. How much money do you have? You're either on this side or that side. It's
right.
Like,
or,
you're pitted against those people and those people. It's like this
that
big,
is what's got to go.
Yeah. And that's like this big judgmental, like warring kind of mentality.
Yeah.
That is promoted.
So part of that is, knowing what is it for you individually that makes or not makes, but you look at these things, the criteria of a person, and put them in a category. And I understand that these categories have their uses as well, but we've been trained to believe that rich people are bad, and I'm not saying it right, but it's like billionaires are bad, like that's a thing going on these days. And but how can anyone know? Because I'm not friends with any billionaires, so I really don't know what they're like.
Yeah, and prejudice is just based on overgeneralization.
Yes,
and just like saying this whole group of people is bad. Period. That's a giant overgeneralization.
Yeah.
And it's just
So watching out for overgeneralization is a step.
Well, it's a huge step if you can actually develop your mind into a nuanced place. Yeah. Then things are not so simple anymore.
I love nuance. Let me tell you, I, being someone raised super, super strict, and there's good and bad. Like everything was in a category, good or bad. And as in the last 10 years or 11 years now of being in partnership with Monty, he's helped me. And now I'm reflecting back to him when he gets in the black and white state too. Yeah. And so this nuance, that is a mature emotional quotient right there. To be able to embrace nuance and to know that even if you are dissecting or looking at something specific, that there's a good chance you're not seeing all the nuanced pieces.
That's it. To actually be a nuanced thinker, you need a peaceful mind. Otherwise, because if your mind's upset, guess what? You have blinders on. Yeah. And because of cognitive dissonance, you don't want to look at things that don't align with your belief system. And if part of your belief system is all these people are bad, then you don't want to look at ways that they might not be bad.
Right.
So to be nuanced, you need to have like kind of a more of a blank slate, just a peaceful mind state. And then you can see all the variables. Okay, those things they do, I don't agree with that. But those things I do agree with. And boom, boom, boom. It's like this nuanced view of life, which is like really, really lacking these days.
And
maybe it always has been.
I feel like
Western
why
culture.
It's lacking is because we have been trained not to trust ourselves. And if we can learn to trust ourselves, we can be open to strangers and people we don't know, because we trust ourselves to know what to do in a moment where we might need to do something.
Yeah.
But because we don't have that natural like in a lot of the modalities that I work with, you expand the energy of the self, of the body, the aura, or however you want to call it. And this is your protective field, because that protective field feels the other people before you do.
Yeah.
So if we have that healthy field around us, which is, first of all, created by being open, then we can navigate with more trust for ourselves, which gives us an open mind towards others.
Yeah, and if we just don't buy all the propaganda that tries to keep us fighting amongst ourselves.
Right, or keep us closed and keep us fearing.
Yeah, fearful, keep us angry.
Yeah, and again, I feel so strongly that if humanity is shifting, of course there's a lot to fear. Because we're literally the mush in a cocoon now.
Well, there's always
we're
a lot
a little
to
vulnerable.
Fear. I mean,
somebody could rip that cocoon open. The Earth could get hit by a comet.
Oh, right.
There's so much that could happen.
Nuclear war. I mean, who knows?
Hopefully not. But I'm saying natural. There could be natural problems.
Viruses. Yeah. Oh, wait, you said natural. Oh, my bad.
Anywho, what I want to say is that we are in a vulnerable time. And so being more and more aligned with how do I trust myself is the way to navigate and be open to the nuances of others, so that we can possibly become a global community versus an individual fighting for existence.
Yeah, well, that's it. We need to just become a global community. And I mean, one step in the right direction for me too is just to learn, what this life really is, and how I have the spark of the divine within me and within everybody else. And from that perspective, it's like, oh, okay, so when this body's done, this spark of the divine, it's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this is just like this tiny little chapter in the life of me, just this human body. And if I can have that perspective, then I don't take everything so seriously.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trained. We're trained like YOLO, you only live once. And then, you got to take everything really seriously. And if you have enough toys, then you're the winner. That's kind of like but that's ridiculous. That's immature. That's, if we really look at things from a mature, kind of scientific perspective of, what is infinite time and
open-ended questions. Open-ended questions.
Yeah. Well, open-ended and just like,
remain curious,
remain humble, but perhaps even try on the hat of like something like life is more like a dream than we realize.
Yeah.
We get so caught up.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very strange feeling inside of me to think that life is just a dream, or that everything's an illusion. Like sometimes I just get lost in the nuance.
Well, one way I frame it in my mind sometimes is I just trying to look at everything like it's a hologram.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's in some ways freaky.
Well, it's different. Yeah, but it's probably more aligned with physical reality than thinking everything is like solid, my body's solid, and this table's solid. And it's like, no, it's like everything's more of a hologram. There's more space than matter.
Yep, that's been proven at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, and just...
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a lot we don't know about reality.
I feel like my safe place where I go when I start to freak out about life is just simply an illusion. I go to the body, because whatever, it doesn't even matter. What is true is that I'm in this body right now. Yeah. And I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know where my soul goes. I don't know how many lifetimes I've been here, or how many more I have to go. I don't know any of these things. All I know is that this is my body right now. And if I want to experience life as lighthearted as possible, I have to deal with the pain in my body, which for me, I do Qigong and yoga and breath work and meditation.
Nice job.
And I need these things to have a happier, more peaceful life. And that's somatic presence. So the more somatically wise we get, the more, it doesn't matter what we don't know.
No.
And we can just exist.
And just for me, just being open to the idea that I don't know most things, that's like, it's liberating. Mm-hmm. It's liberating and it's real.
So I just want to thank you all for being here with us this month. We've been very dynamically sharing with you, and this hour flew by. So I just want to send y'all lots of peace, lots of curiosity. May you go forth in your body, in this world, as lighthearted and as curious as possible.
Yeah, and find out ways to tune into that flow. And the more, I believe the more we're in the flow, the more powerful we are. Mm-hmm. So let's explore that.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
So for our WDRT listeners, we will talk with you next month. And for our podcast listeners, we are going to increase our shows to once a week. So keep your eye open next week for the next Mindflow Radio.
Peace and love.
Also, for our podcast listeners, I want to put it out there that Monty and I shared our 7 top skills and created a beautiful ebook. And you can now get this ebook.
And it's free.
Yep. On mindflowradio.life. We'd love you to join our community by downloading this book and practicing these skills with us. These are how we live our lives, and we hope that you may want to experience that as well.
Yeah, I would say it's a handy. There's some handy information relative to just getting into the flow.
Absolutely. I am personally just so excited to share this with y'all because these are truly from our heart and how we actually try to live every day. And we created these compact skills to share with you so you can have them and you can join our community for free. So I hope you take us up on it.
Yeah. I mean, we're both mental health professionals and have been in the field for a while. And this is stuff that we work with all the time, including working on ourselves. That's the big challenge, right? Mm-hmm. But it's something we engage with every day.
Yeah. So take us up on it and also share with us what you think.
Mindflowradio.life.
Be well, y'all.